defense can come up big.
Opening moments here, a field block from China to start, and now no goal there, a contra foul on Brazil, and China will take control. This is Wu Honghui in the cage. Vincius Antonelli in goal for Brazil.
I think Honghui, even though that was called a contra foul, he's still got to be ready and have his hands up when that ball enters 2 meters.
Yeah, that goal won't count, the one that went past him, but maybe a little wake-up call here to get things going on a Tuesday afternoon.
It looks like China's going to go to drop.
That shot attempt. Inside the 2 is the call after the follow. No goal there again, so Brazil's put the ball in the back of the net twice. Neither have counted, and China takes over.
So I guess the referee was saying he was inside the 2 before the shot ever happened.
Interesting.
Brazil doing a good job of fronting at 2 meters.
And there's a takeaway. It'll come back to Antonelli.
Yeah, you can't make that pass. The defender, wing defender, was about 2-3 feet from the center, and he was just pushed way outside.
And that leads to a shot and score. Adria Delgado connecting from the outside in transition, and Brazil goes in front 1-0.
Yeah, Delgado's got one heck of a shot. As we saw yesterday, you remember that goal from the right wing, just a hitch, and you just don't know when it's coming off that hand. He just got up and fired that one.
And Brazil jumps out to the 1-0 lead. China now back on offense.
Brazil's doing a good job of ball side pressure 2 meters, and they got the 2 meter, the center out at 5 meters.
Triple team there, dumped out to the side, and Brazil with the easy takeaway. That pass trickles away, and Brazil will keep it on the offensive end. Triple team, lots of blue caps there, and China comes over for the steal. 5:17 to play. First quarter, 1-0 Brazil in front.
Looked like Silva was hoping for a call there at 2 meters. Think he got kicked a multitude of times as China was heading out on the counterattack.
Entry inside the backhand. Oh, bar down, but not in. Antonelli gathers that up so close on the attempt.
Yeah, you see the Chinese center forward had plenty of room to work with when they put that ball into 2 meters and didn't get a crash back.
Exclusion called. So we'll go against China and Chen Jinghao. Power play here for the Brazilians with 4:30 to play in the first. Ooh, near side, and scored for Jonas Crivello. Literally, he was faking cross cage D and then came near side.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought our vantage point.
A tangle on the near side here. This is Tan Fei Hu controlling, puts it in. Double team comes, and it's Peroni coming over for the takeaway.
Yeah, China's just having a real difficult time getting their center forward set deep down at 2 meters. You know, we've seen every possession he's up around 4 or 5 meters. And that really just makes it a lot easier on the defense because they can cheat back because the shooters are, the perimeter shooters are so far out.
Couple of fakes. Here's Peroni eyeing things up. Goes over the top. Beautiful passing, and the connection is there to Delgado. 3-0 here. Brazil off to a great start.
I actually thought that was going to be an inside the 2 call because it sure looked more so than the first one he called.
How about that pass from Peroni right over the top? Thought he was going to the player in front of Delgado, but caught Delgado right in motion. As you alluded to, if it wasn't an inside the 2 call, dangerously close, so the perfect timing there.
Exactly. But yes, very, very nice pass.
Ordinary called. 3:29 to play, first quarter. All Brazil here to start ahead 3-0. And there's an exclusion. So power play coming here for China. Delgado 2 goals, his first exclusion. And now China with a chance on the 6-on-5.
I think Delgado's got to ask for help on that wing, his wing defender over there to help him out.
Score it on the power play. China on the board. Zhang Chufang connecting on the 6-on-5. And it's a 3-1 game with 3:09 to play here in the first.
Nice cross pass from the 6 position over to 1 who curled up in the pocket, and he got up really high and just put it away. Did Zhang.
Here's a second look at this one, Dean. Getting a big there out of the water.
Yeah, he used his momentum being so high out of the water and just put it home right over the top of his defender.
Under 3 to play here in the first. 3-1 Brazil. They had run off 3 straight. China's come back with 1. Both these teams 0-1 thus far. Losers yesterday on day 1. Lob try. Bar down and out. Looks like Wu got enough on it just to keep it out of there. There's an ordinary. And a direct shot, but inside the 5.
Yeah. That was clear. I don't know what he looked right over at the 5-meter line. I don't know how he could think he was outside of it.
He didn't even try that tricky move where you kind of let the ball roll back a bit outside the 5 and then try and pick it up.
Yeah, plus the referee was standing right there,
yeah,
right on the 5-meter line. There was no arguing that call.
It's the American official Haas Ortega on the far side, not fooled by that one. Here's a turnover, and now it's China in control, under 2 to play in the first. 3-1, Brazil in front. Entry inside. There's an exclusion call. Bernardo Rocha got it tangled up. He was battling with Liang Nianjiang. And a timeout called by Team China and their coach, Polo Malara.
I think what happened there is China finally got some motion going in their offense. They were content, the previous possessions to just sit outside and let Brazil press them, and didn't see too many opportunities for them and a lot of steals by Brazil. But once you get some movement going, now your defense got to swim with you, and puts them in a vulnerable position. As we saw there, we got the kick out.
1:44 to play. First quarter, 3-1 Brazil. They opened up a 3-0 lead, large part to 2 goals from Adrian Delgado, another from Jonas Crivello. Pretty fast-moving first quarter, Dean. Not a lot of whistles in regards to exclusions, kind of letting them go at it here.
Yeah, we've had 3 exclusions, so not a lot. I know we saw in yesterday's games, several exclusions, throughout all 4 games. China's starting out real wide here in their 6-on-5 opportunity. They're going into a 6-in rotation, crossover to 1.
Power play chance here for Team China. Brazil pursuing the ball. Good look inside. Just missed it wide right, but had a clean look at the cage.
Yeah, that was Tao, and he had nobody on him. He had a lot of time, and not sure how he missed that.
Minute 15 to play, first quarter, 3-1 Brazil. Long cross pass.
Oh, he had his center posting up there.
Still looking inside. Now a few fakes, double team comes, deal it out on the perimeter. Here's Peroni, he'll wind up, and he goes wide right as well. It'll come back to China under a minute to play here, first quarter. Contra foul is the call. That was against Liang Yanjiang on the hook.
That was
right in front of that.
Fairly easy call for Haas Ortega on that. The Brazilian defender was underwater, and you could see half the back of the center forward up out of the water there.
Nice contra, or rather nice counterattack there, but it's thwarted by a field block from China. Now they'll take over. 30 seconds to play here, first quarter.
Again, Brazil pressing out all over the pool. Presser, 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
Trying to go cross cage from distance, and that one is saved by Antonelli, and Brazil coach Ratko Rudic will call for time with just 15 seconds left to play in the quarter. Shot clock off. Brazil can play for the final shot.
Now we saw as I was alluding to right there, is Brazil was really pressed out, and China didn't get the ball into the front court until there was 14 seconds left on the shot clock. So they had to eat the clock, eat a lot of time on that clock before they could get a release and get the ball down there.
See what Brazil goes to here out of the timeout. Rudic still giving some commands here. Former head coach of the U.S. national team, took him to the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens.
Croatian national team.
Croatia.
Where else has he been?
Italy, I think,
yeah.
In the 90s. And everywhere he goes, the U.S. team certainly didn't do what they had hoped in 2004, but I know many feel that he helped set a foundation for what happened in 2008 with the silver medal in Beijing. So has been relatively successful here and knows he has an Olympic Games coming in 2016 with Brazil. Peroni, one of the guys brought in to this Brazilian squad, and that shot attempt is field blocked, or the save that it played, field blocked, and now last chance try here for China. Nothing doing there. We come to the end of 1-all. Brazil to start. They're up 3-1. We're back after this with the second right here on USA Water Polo TV.
I am water polo.
I am water polo.
I am water polo.
Second period about to begin. 3-1, Brazil in front of China. We're here on day 2 of the FINA Men's Intercontinental Tournament. Thanks for watching on USA Water Polo TV. Don't forget to join us on the social media conversation using the hashtag FINACDM. Hashtag FINACDM, and you can tweet, add your comments on the YouTube broadcast. Love to hear from you.
Greg, we'll see if China can get some more motion in their offense here, because Brazil, well.
There's some motion.
That was just as I was saying, getting some motion. They just came up and fired the ball, and that was Tan Fei-Hu.
Just a rocket from the outside, and China could use something. They've scored 2 straight now. Going back to the first period, they trail 3-2 here. Opening 30 seconds here of the second quarter, and Tan just coming up and ripping the nets, not wasting any time.
Yeah, as I was saying, they need to get some motion going in their offense because them being stagnant just allowed Brazil to press them and force the turnovers. They really didn't have much on offense. When they did move, they got the exclusion, were able to get their first goal off the exclusion on the extra man situation. But right there, Brazil was in the drop as they came into the front court, and Fei-Hu just got up and reared back and let it fly right over the goalie's head.
Shot attempt there from the outside. It's saved by Wu, and now it leads to a counterattack. Here comes China. Shashi ahead of the crowd. Lob try swatted down by Antonelli, and Brazil comes back on the break.
Antonelli just got up big, and there was no angle for him to get over the top. Very rare that you see a goalie block that with 2 hands on a lob attempt.
Yeah. At that point, now we're just going to nitpick here, but should he just caught the ball? Or easier said than done, of course.
I think it's much like in basketball.
Sure.
When you see somebody reject somebody, everybody says, "Why don't you just go up and grab it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Bill Russell used to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not that old and don't remember, but I've never seen anybody do it.
Last time down, that was a no goal for Brazil, and now they've got it back after a turnover on the outlet pass from China. Just about 2 minutes gone by here, second quarter. 3-2, Brazil in front. Looking for more, gonna get a chance here with an exclusion. This will go against Tan Fei-Hu. Now here's Brazil on the attack. Here's Peroni. Gives to Guilherme Gomes. Around the perimeter they go. Few fakes there. Quick movement here from Brazil. Running out of time, however, on the exclusion.
They're
Sides now even.
Strength.
Doesn't matter. Goal is there. Brazil connecting from the outside. Guilherme Gomes. It's a 4-2 lead in the first goal for Brazil here in the second, and cuts down a 2-0 China run.
Yeah, well, China had come back to full strength, really still an extra man situation as he had just popped out from underneath the penalty box there. And we saw Gomes he still had plenty of time to fake, and nobody coming out on him, and he was about 5 meters out. Pretty difficult shot to stop.
Ordinary there on the perimeter. Full slate of action coming up here. Live from Newport Beach. We'll end it tonight at 8 p.m. Team USA taking on Japan. Skip shot there wildly over the net on the try from Zhang Chufeng. And now Brazil advances into the front court. Here's an ordinary. Shot clock to 13. Looking to turn inside. Oh, he goes backhand instead. And that one's off the post. Creative effort there from Korea. And then an exclusion on the way down. Salimi excluded, and a power play coming here for China with under 5 to play in the first half. China on the attack. Around the perimeter they go. Beautiful lob inside, and then the quick turn from Liang Jianyang, putting it past the keeper, and China gets another back, making it 4-3.
Yeah, we saw the rotation from Chufeng at the one position, curled up into the pocket, and then Liang Jiang just slid out off the 2 post and received the pass over the top of the defender, turned and put it home.
Brazil being pressed out near mid-tank. Running low on time here. Oh, what a move there. And then the lob, and that's in. Beautifully done by the Brazilians to go ahead here 5-3. That's number 11, Gustavo Gomes, spinning off a defender and then able to break free and pop that one over the keeper's head.
Yeah, I just used the defender's leverage and spun inside on that. To go back to their previous possession when Correa got that shot at 2 meters, he was trying to turn strong side, defenders pulling on him, and he just used that momentum and shot the backhand opposite of what he was really trying to do.
So Brazil battles back with a goal here, making it a 5-3 match with under 4 to go. Exclusion, too aggressive, trying to make the steal was Felipe Silva.
Seems like they're really starting to tighten things up on the perimeter. That's 2 times in a row now we've seen an exclusion out on the perimeter.
Timeout called by China as they'll set things up with their 6-on-5. .3:48 to go, second quarter. 5-3 right now, Brazil in front. China trying to build off some opportunities here as they've fought their way back into this game.
Yeah, they're staying in this game with their extra man opportunities. You know, they've had 3 or 2 or 3, and they've had 4. They're 2 for 4, I think, on extra man opportunity. Which, if you can stay 50% on your extra man, you're doing a good job.
Saw there how you can interact with us on Twitter. Team USA captain Tony Azevedo tweeting out a preview of this week's event from Team USA, so you can check that out. Look at this inside. Too easy right there. Left-hander Liang Jiangnang with his second. Almost seemed like it was a practice play. Everyone was just frozen in time as they popped that over the top, and he easily punched it in with the left.
Yeah, what number 9, Zikeo, he went all the way inside, 2 meters, all the way down to the lane rope, and the 2-post just stepped all the way in with him. So he can follow him all the way in. Pass was put up there. He was inside his defender and just used his offhand and put it home.
A 1-goal game once more, and now a steal from China, so putting some things together here with 3:14 to play in the first half. A 5-4 lead for Brazil, but not safe at the moment. Here comes China. And a contra foul, so China with
that
a
was an
chance
easy
to tie.
decision for the referee there. Hand up out of the water on the chest, pushing off.
Sometimes they make it real clear for the refs. Under 3 to play here in the first half. Here's Brazil. This is Rocha. And now Gomes looking inside, or contra fouls the call rather, getting close to inside the 2 as the ball came over the top. It'll turn over now and go back to China.
I think the referee had his choice there, either the contra foul or inside the 2.
Working free here on the other end, and ball unders the call. Strong defense coming back the other way from Silva to force the ball under. It'll come back to Antonelli and the Brazilians.
Very quick decision by the referee there. I kind of thought I saw the ball the whole time. I didn't see it go completely underwater. But if you're going to put your hand on top of the ball inside the water, or with inside water position, that's a chance you take.
Outside shot there, the save from Wu. And now China goes back on the attack, trailing 5-4. Entry inside. They go back to the big man, but it's tipped away. Good double team there from Brazil as they converged on Tan Feihu. Silva helping to force that steal along with Rocha.
Here we've got an exclusion on the goalie.
And an exclusion. So we'll go against Wu Huanghee. Seen this yesterday at one point, and it didn't result in a goal. Let's see if Brazil can change the tide here. China stacks the cage, and they put it away. Burying it there, Bernardo Rocha, number 9, his first, and always tough when the keeper's out and the field players have to try and get in there and pretend to be goalies.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, that left they had like 3 guys back in the goal, and that left the 2 posts wide open. So they went from the 5 spot, cross the cage inside to the 2 spot, and there was really nobody there to be able to make that block.
You saw it there. Also, when field players are in the cage, can only use one hand, so don't have all the abilities of a regular goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't even, if you were to lunge one way and your other hand came up out of the water, they still consider that 2 hands.
Brazil back in front by 2, 6-4. 1:16 to go, first half. There's an ordinary. China plays catch on the perimeter as they look to set things up. Big wind up, that's field blocked out of play. It'll come back to Brazil with a minute to go here in the first half.
Got a man inside here.
Ordinary called. And then a contra foul. So Brazil potentially going to have a chance there to go up 3. Instead, they turn it over. Now China would love to get back within 1 here as we approach halftime. Couple of fakes. Ooh, off the post. That one I thought was going to go post and in, but it ricochets all the way to the near side corner. And they'll track it down there.
Yeah, Antonelli was nowhere near that thing. I think a half an inch inside, and we're looking at a goal in a 1-goal game.
Regardless, ball turns over. Brazil takes control here. Outlet pass to Crivello, who has a goal already today. 3-second differential shot in the game clock. 21 seconds left here in the quarter. It's a 6-4 lead for Brazil.
Brazil was unable to take advantage of that man-up counterattack.
Save out by Wu.
Well,
With an exclusion, interfering. Some disagreement there from Yu Lee Jun, but he will have to depart. And Brazil calls for time, as they'll have a 6-on-5 here with just 6 seconds left. And curious here, with 6 seconds left, Dean, kind of that opportunity where you could just try and hold the ball and maybe set yourself up to open the next quarter with a power play with a little bit more time to work with. We'll see what Brazil decides to go with here.
Well, I think you know, then you run the risk. You got to get the sprint, and I think China won both sprints in the first half, if I recall. I know they won it in the first.
So not a risk they want to take here.
Yeah, I mean, you got plenty of time, 6 seconds. You can easily make something happen. You know, you have the goalie put the ball in play, and everybody else set up. You know, I think you can get two, maybe 3 passes. You know, if you get some motion inside for a pass inside, or at least, you know, create a shot from the outside.
Let's see what they get out of the timeout. 6 seconds remaining. Shot clock is off. Brazil on the power play, ahead 6-4.
Oh, they get the ball here at 2 meters. 2-meter throw.
Here it comes. 5 seconds left. Peroni takes a look inside, redirect off the bar and out, and as good a look as you could hope for there on the redirect from Silve, but it goes off the bar and is corralled by China, and we come to the end of the first half. A back and forth one. It's Brazil 6, China 4. We'll take a timeout and return with the third quarter right here on USA Water Polo TV.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org.
Champions aren't born. Champions come from doing what others won't. Because doing their best in this moment puts them in the best place for the next moment. Champions are made. Will. Determination. Greatness. Here. Get made.
Water polo. Polo. I am water polo.
I am water polo.
Third quarter underway here at Corona Del Mar High School. Dean Quintal, Greg Meskel here with you poolside for Brazil and China, and it's Brazil ahead 6-4. teams have switched ends here. Brazil in the white caps, China in the dark. And a skip shot there to start things off from Delgado. He has two, not a third just yet. That one sails over the goal.
Yeah, I think if you'd have put that near side and it didn't skip over the goal, might have had an opportunity because Hong Wei did not move much at all on that.
Opening half minute here of the third. Outside try, big field block there as that one comes near 2 meters. So Delgado, making up for the miss, comes back with a big field block. And so Brazil now has gone to their bench in the goal. Ty Matos has come on, number 13, so a new keeper. Entry inside, and that one is batted down.
Good shot by Silve there. Brazil back out into their press like they started with at the beginning of the game.
Entry inside, batted out. Couple of fakes. Shot clock about to expire, but no matter. Brazil comes up with the steal as Silva takes that one away.
Good defense by Brazil there. They were very active. You know, they were pressing, and then when they had to drop, and they were active and playing a lot of help defense.
Here's a look from the outside. A few fakes. That one is field blocked and knocked down.
Hong Wei finally gets an outlet pass. So we've got an exclusion for Brazil. Trying to get a number on that. We're going to have a China power play here. China on the extra man, passing the ball around the perimeter.
Beautiful shot from the outside. So China comes back with a score, hitting there. Dong Tao connecting, and much needed for Team China. They draw within one.
Got a little lucky there on the deflection. Not sure where that was headed, but it went into the upper left corner.
See if we get a second look here.
Looked like that was the center defender with his left hand up, so leads me to believe it was going to the right side of the cage.
China will take it, though, to get within one here with 5:41 to play in the third.
That previous exclusion was on Bernardo Gomes.
Ordinary called. Brazil controlling on the perimeter. Bit of a breeze here at the pool today. So the flags moving around above the stands. Entry pass in. And a contra foul is the call.
Yeah, as Peroni started to turn there, I could see his left arm up, hooking on the shoulder of the defender, Jing Ao.
Beautiful save there. Matos knocking that one out of play, as there was a pretty high-powered shot coming there from the wing by Team China and Zhang Chufang.
Reset here with a 2-meter throw for China.
Under 5 to go here in the third. 6-5 Brazil. Physical pressure here from Brazil on defense. The look inside, double team is coming, and it's saved on the near side post by Matos.
Good job by Matos there. He actually, came out to try and deny the pass into 2 meters on the pass from the wing. But then we realized the offense player was too far out. He got back in the goal and covered that near side low corner, just like a goalie's supposed to. See Brazil here in a press all around, doing a good job fronting the center position.
7:20 on the shot clock. Plenty of time for China to operate. Long cross pass, but a double team is there. Too much on it. And a takeaway for Brazil and Crivello.
Very tough to get something on that when the ball hangs up in the air for so long. You give the goalie time to come over, and then as you saw, you had the defender drop down and make the steal on that. Peroni spin inside.
Nicely done, and then skips it cross cage. Felipe Peroni.
Peroni seems to have taken his game out of 2 meters and down on the wing. We've seen him there in the last couple possessions, and he likes that spin move. Got called for it for the hooking the last time, but this time was able to get the spin inside, get separation, just picked it up. Nice skip shot cross cage.
And Brazil takes a 2-goal lead. Seems like they've been consistently being able to jump out of that 2-goal lead. China will get within 1, but they can't get all the way back just yet.
Yeah, I think Brazil, and that's what, good teams need to do. They need to be, answer, somebody scores a goal, you need to answer right back. Not letting China get any momentum whatsoever.
China looking to find some momentum here on the offensive end. Being pursued heavily on the perimeter, a double team you saw there. That outside try, field block, and trickles out of play. So swarming defense here from Brazil, making things very difficult for China with 3:40 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, you got to question that shot. The shooter is about 6 meters out and about another 6 or 7 meters off the post, and you got a defender right in his face.
Entry inside, and that one is tossed away, trying for some sort of turn. And then in transition, an exclusion, and then a timeout called by China. So some frustration there, looks like, for Danilo Correa as he was trying to work inside, had 2 defenders in his grill, tossed it away, and then on the way down, obviously kicked or pushed somebody, and the official was right there to exclude him. 6-on-5 coming here for China.
Yeah, the far side official, he likes the two-handed pullback, and sometimes it can be difficult to use the 2 hands to pull back. You'll see the 1 hand quite often, but the 2 hands, he seems to think that's what's happening out there.
Another opportunity coming here for China. They're going to be on the 6-on-5. This is more indicative of a high-level game here. The score you're seeing, maybe a little high for the third quarter, but around 7-5. Depending on what happens in the fourth, it could be heading for a 9-7 type game to finish things out here. A little bit of a departure from what we saw yesterday when we're getting into the teens here on some of these matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know when all these teams got into the country. Could have been some jet lag. Tend to react a little slower on defense when you're not as prepared. Brazil doing a good job here, very active.
There's a goal. Tanfehu with his second, firing from the outside on the power play. It draws China back to within 1 at 7-6. Under 3 to play here in the third.
Nice. Similar to how he got his first goal, even though it was an even up situation, but he was just center cage, got up big and rammed it right over the goalie's head. Different goalie, but same result.
Matos in the cage this time, unable to stop that one. And now the question that's been posed to China here since about the second quarter is, can they get another stop to try and tie this game? They've been able to get to this point within 1 on a few occasions.
Yeah, Brazil's just answered back. Doing a good job so far. They've got front side at center position.
Beautiful look, and again, Brazil answers back.
Yeah,
that pass
there's
over
your
the
answer,
top
Greg.
finds Crivello, and he's able to stuff it home near post.
Great pass, though, by Peroni. Had to go over the top of the defender, and he drew the foul out there. He knew exactly what was going to happen. He just came up after the foul, Made a long pass over the top of the defender. And Curvello, just with his right hand, just a little redirect, near side.
It's an ordinary entry inside. Shot got off somehow with 3 white caps converging. Credit China for just even getting that ball on net, and an easy stop from Matos.
Yeah, right into his breadbasket.
Leads to a counterattack here for Brazil. Good look, weak side, tries to go near post, stuffed there. Wu with the denial, and China takes control with 1:49 to play here in the third.
Good stop there by Hong Wu. Read the pass, and he was right there waiting for that shot by Crivello.
Entry pass comes inside. Ordinary called. Thought about that direct shot, but inside the 5 by a good margin.
Good front side position by Peroni.
And then a takeaway. Brazil comes over on the double team. They've been going to the double team quite a bit thus far through 3 quarters, and it's paying dividends here as they generate another turnover with 1:15 to play.
Yeah, good help defense, and that's, you know, every good team's gonna, you know, you're not just guarding your man, you're looking to see where else you can help out. You know, we saw Salemi there is guarding a guy way out on the perimeter who's no threat, so he just drops back and made the steal. Good block there by Hong Wei on the shot from Peroni.
And the long outlet pass. Under a minute to go here, third quarter. Too much on the defensive end there from Brazil. Crivello is excluded for the first time. 6-on-5 coming here. And some subbing, so China bringing a few guys late to the action here on the 6-on-5. Here's Shashi, who just came on.
You got 4 seconds left on the exclusion, so not much time at all.
Look inside, and a penalty is called. They were setting up 10 on the 2-meter line. He missed it, was in close, but was dragged down. A penalty called. It will go against Brazil. And a chance here for China to get within 1.
I think, was that called on Rocha?
That was the call. Penalty on number 9, Bernardo Rocha, and now Shashi to take the penalty to put China back within 1 at 8-7. And he scores it. Goes low to the right side. Timeout called by Brazil. It's a 1-goal game once more, 8-7. With just 33 seconds left. So we're a bit of a broken record here, Dean, but China again has come back to within 1.
Yeah.
Now Brazil will call time. They've always had an answer. 33 seconds left here. They've succeeded here on some of these end of the quarter plays by at least getting some good looks in close. We'll see what they have here with just 33 to play.
Looking over there, watching the Chinese coach, Paulo Malara, and looking over at the Brazilian team, seeing who's in the water, and looking back at his bench and, you know, seeing who he wants to put in. Calls for one of his assistant coaches over to interpret what he wants. I'm guessing Paulo isn't too fluent in Chinese, so needs the help of his assistant coach to give direction to his troops. Like Brazil went with pretty much the same team with the exception of Rocha. They're taking him out. Brazil's got something set up with 3 players stacked up here at mid-tank. Drive 2 guys down on the 1-2 side.
Plenty of time to work with. 4 seconds separating shot and game clock here. Brazil can take it down close to the end here in the third. Dangerous pass there across the pool, but Peroni will track it down.
10 seconds on the shot.
Down to 5 seconds now. Here's
Delgado.
Delgado.
See a shot by Delgado.
After the ordinary, he'll wind up, and a save. The follow is there. Scored for Brazil. And Felipe Silva, right place, right time. tips home the rebound.
Really unfortunate for China there. They did everything they could to make the stop, had him pressed out. You were going to give a shot up about 8 meters out, and Hong Wei made a nice save. But, you know, we just see the spin on the inside at 2 meters, and just a little garbage shot, putting it home.
Last try there for China, sails over the goal. Only a second goes off the clock, so Delgado could get one more try if he likes. That won't come in time as we're end of the third quarter. It's Brazil 9, always having an answer. China 7. We return with the final 8 minutes right here from Newport Beach.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
Fourth quarter underway here at Corona Del Mar High School. Thanks for joining us on USA Water Polo TV. Dean Quintal and Greg Meskel here with you from CDM. Brazil and China. Final 8 minutes here. Brazil 9, China 7. China has repeatedly drawn to within a goal, and Brazil has repeatedly extended that back to 2 goals. And there's a turnover from China to start things off here in the fourth.
Fortunate for a stop there. You know, they see if they can, again, get back within 1 and get another stop.
Tan Feihu handling. Comes near side. Man-to-man pressure here from Brazil. Exclusion call there. That was Silve upending number 4, Yu Lee Jun, and he'll be excluded. And China on the power play here, opening minute of the fourth.
China with a 6 in rotation, 1 up in the pocket.
Good look inside. The put away is there for China and Yu Lee Jun. He draws the exclusion and then does the rest on offense.
Very nice ball movement by China there. They ran the 6 position inside the 2. One man curled up into the pocket, and then the 3 post was wide open for the pass in from the 1 position. The X3 defender did not get back over and cover that post.
Under 7 to play in the fourth, and again, China within 1, 9-8. Playing their own man defense right now. Dangerous pass on the perimeter. Brazil able to keep it alive, but short on time here, just 6 on the shot clock. Entry in, quick turn, save ranging right. Wu with the stop. And China takes control with a chance to tie.
Good stop by Hong Wu on the bad angle shot from Peroni.
A look inside and an exclusion called. So we'll go against Brazil and Peroni. And a power play here for China, so physicality here going up a little higher.
Yeah, we'll see if China can even things up here. This is their opportunity. They got the stop. Now they have the opportunity to tie things up. And a
big
nice
save
block by Matos.
Yellow card recently awarded to Ratko Rudic of Brazil. Sides coming even now, so power play is over, but still a new shot clock for China after the save.
Good front side position down at the center position. Center working for position. Now he's all the way out at 5 meters.
Now look at Brazil here, driving him further and further, almost into the backcourt now.
And look at Brazil coming over to help defense, as I talked about earlier. Now I'll take that all day long, Greg. 12 meter shot just sails over the cage.
The defense there for Brazil, and now on the attack, they'll have the advantage momentarily. Shooting and scoring, so how about that? Gustavo Gomes, he was ahead of his defender, Yu Lee Jun, who was late to get back on defense, and he took it all the way in and fired it home.
Yeah, Gomes was the center defender and then just took off on the counterattack and had a good 2-3 body length lead. Just, kept going coast to coast, just picked it up, fired it, cross cage, skip shot.
So now a 10-8 lead for Brazil.
Looked like Wu thought that was going to go near side, but Gomes put it cross cage. Again, back to a 2-goal lead. China wasn't able to capitalize.
And Brazil always finding an answer. Ordinary called. Entry inside, exclusion called. So we'll go against Bernardo Gomes. We talked early in this one, Dean, about how, hey, not too many whistles, not too many exclusions, but now in this fourth here with the game getting close and getting on the line, you're seeing a lot more physicality here at around 2 meters. And there's a goal from the outside. China scoring Li on the power play. It's a 1-goal game once more.
Yeah, Greg, just counting things up, and it looks like Brazil's been ejected 11 times. Yeah, 11 ejections to only 4 for China.
Beautiful goal there on the replay from Li as he put that one to the right side.
Again, we're in the same situation as before. 1-goal game. China needs to shut Brazil down here and try and capitalize.
That pass over the top. Brazil will track it down, but then the keeper comes over, bailed out by an ordinary foul. Thought Wu was going to have the steal there. Skip shot near side, saved out and taken away by China. And again with a chance to tie with 4:15 to play in the fourth. Exclusion called. So we'll go against Brazil. And the excluded player for Brazil, Correa, his second. And a 6-on-5 coming now for China. Look inside, hang on. No goal, and calling a contra foul there, a hold in close to break free for that ball. So the tying goal nullified, and Brazil takes control.
I was really unsure of that ejection. I think the Brazil Correa just basically set a pick, got in the way of the Chinese offensive player. So to thwart their advantage on the counterattack. Didn't look like he did a whole lot.
On the other end, big spin move there by Peroni, off the mark, but nearly tipped home again like we saw earlier when Silva was there to bat it in. Not to be this time as the China defense covers up. Ordinary call there. China controlling on the perimeter.
And China subbing on the fly, so got an extra Brazilian defender guarding the center. Looks like shot clock's going to wind down on them, and
yeah, they're going
China's
to
just gonna
forfeit this
dump the ball.
possession. They'll dump it aside. And Brazil will take it with a little over 3 minutes to play in the fourth, holding a 1-goal advantage.
Got Peroni here posting up again.
Few fakes, outside try, and Wu again with a stop with the left hand. Big tangle there, 2 meters on the way down, no call.
Rocha couldn't get much on that shot. You see he was faking, and he lost his legs. He was sinking as he shot the ball. You're not going to get a whole lot on it when you're down low in the water.
Here's Brazil now on the move, off the steal. Peroni near side, sneaks it under the arm of Wu Huanghai, and Peroni with 2 goals. This one puts Brazil back in front by 2, 11-9.
We've got 2:30 left, Greg, and it's going to be all China can do to get even this one up. They've had their opportunities, and evidenced by the 12 exclusions on Brazil, and only 4 on China. So you can't say they haven't had opportunities to even this up.
And there's a deflected pass and a takeaway. And now with 2:15 left here in the fourth and holding a 2-goal lead, Brazil in great shape to come away a winner here.
Look for Peroni here.
Ahead of the crowd, dealing with 3 defenders, including the keeper, looking for a call. Nothing there as Wu comes up with the takeaway.
Haas Ortega saying that Peroni had his hand on the ball. I clearly think he let it go, and he was swimming to try and get position as the defender went right over the top of him for the steal.
And an exclusion there, so Brazil keeping up their physical play. Silva goes out. He is done for the day. His 3rd exclusion on the following shot. Matos with the save. And Brazil has it with 1:45 to play here in the fourth.
Oh, and they've got an opportunity here while they're
saved
save.
out there by Wu. That was Guimarães with a clean look at the cage. That would have really iced this cake, but instead they'll get it for a new shot clock with 1:37 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Guimarães got so wide open. They were just coming back even, and that should never happen.
On the perimeter now. Looking inside. Brazil still plenty of time. Not anymore. Contra foul. And China will call for time with 1:19 to play here in the fourth. And Ratko Rudic upset with his Brazilian squad. They know they could have run some more time off the clock and made this thing really impossible for China. Now, Dean, you look at what China has here. If they come out, they'll have to go pretty quick here. A little 2-for-1 thought as they will break this timeout to try and get a chance to put something in the back of it and then get another opportunity to tie things up.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 1:19 left. So, the thinking is they're going to have, they've got 2 more possessions left. And so they need to, convert the first, get a stop, and then come back on the final possession and see if they can't tie things up. And a tie would be big, They would get 1 point as opposed to, right now we're looking at, it'd be 2 games down and they wouldn't have any points. So it'd be difficult matchup. Now you're looking at playing, possibly the top-seeded team from the other bracket or the second-place team.
Sure. All the teams do move on, but it definitely can change your road of difficulty depending on what you do here in pool play.
Yeah, we've got 4 teams in each bracket, and at the end of pool play, 1 will play 4 from each bracket, and 2 will play 3.
Matos comes up with a stop there and a timeout called by Brazil, and they're in strong shape here to pick up their first victory. China looking like they'll fall to 0-2 here in the early goings. 1:02 to play. Rudic giving some final instructions here for the final 62 seconds of this one.
And Brazil, you got to hand it to them. They did a good job of defending while being down. As we talked about, 12 ejections, and there still looks like they're going to come out with a win here. 1 or 2 goal game. And China, you know, they need to really go back and look. I don't know what their conversion rate was, but, you know, they've only had 4 exclusions, and they just really did not capitalize on the extra man situation.
So the teams break the huddles, get ready to resume play here. 1:02 remaining in the 4th, and Brazil can, first things first, put a lot of time off this clock as they try and wind things down.
They're just content to keep things spread out and you know, let the clock run down.
Down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. They'll go to Peroni.
Looks like he's just going to draw a foul outside of 5 meters.
Doesn't even need to draw it. Puts it away and puts this game away. Felipe Peroni connecting, shedding his defender, and then going cross cage to the corner and giving Brazil a 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, it looked like Shashi got over aggressive and tried for the steal, and Peroni just used his momentum to let him go on by, and he got inside water, and there he was from about 5 meters out.
So it's been a 2-goal game for a very long time. Brazil now ahead 3 and sealing the deal here late in the 4th. Final possession in all likelihood for China. Matos is there, who came on in the 3rd to make the save. Shot clock is off, and Brazil's out of the game here. They can take the rest of the time off the clock, holding a 12-9 advantage.
Nice save there by Matos to wrap things up here for Brazil. And just slowly advance the ball up the pool.
So just a couple of seconds left. Time is going to expire here. And Brazil's going to take this one 12-9. They pick up their first victory here at the FINA Men's Intercontinental Tournament. China falls to 0-2. And Dean, we talked about it all game long, but China could never take that next step. They were right there within 1 constantly, couldn't get all the way back, and then Brazil finishes them off late with a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and that goes back to their man-up situation. You know, they had several opportunities. They got it to 1 goal, as we saw late in the, early in the 4th quarter, where they got it to 1 goal and they got an exclusion, so they had the opportunity to tie it up, and they just couldn't put it away. Be interesting again to see what their conversion rate was on the extra man advantage. You know, I think it ended up with 12. Actually, 14 exclusions on Brazil. You know, they got Silva fouled out, and you had a bunch of guys with two ejections, and they just couldn't capitalize on that.
So your final score in this one, Brazil takes it 12-9. We'll step aside, return with our next game around 5 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks for joining us. Come back and see us right here on USA Water Polo TV.